All right, have you ever just looked up at the stars and thought, man, what would it be like to talk to something up there? I'm talking about something zipping by at, 17,000 miles per hour? Well, in the world of amateur radio, that's not science fiction. It's a Tuesday. We're going to show you exactly how to make your very first contact with a satellite. And believe it or not, you might be able to do it with gear you already own. Yeah, you can forget about those massive mission control rooms or needing a billionaire's bank account. This is your personal space program. I'm serious. With your ham radio license and some equipment that's way more basic than you think, you can literally bounce your voice off a satellite orbiting the Earth and hear it come right back. Let me tell you, it's one of the most incredible feelings you can have in this hobby. So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the mindset, your own personal space program. Then we'll figure out how to choose your first satellite. After that, we'll build your ground station, plan the mission, and, the best part, make that first contact. And finally, we'll talk about how you can join the wider space community. Let's dive in. Okay, first up, let's talk about your personal space program. And really, what this section is about is tackling that fear factor. You know, the idea that talking to the sky is just way too complicated for the average person. It sounds super intimidating, right? But let's actually break down why it's not. Look, you can forget rocket science. The reality is, right now, as we speak, there are more than 20 active ham radio satellites zipping over our heads, and they are just waiting for someone to call. You absolutely do not need a degree in astrophysics for this. Honestly, all it takes is a little bit of know-how, some good timing, and the simple gear we're going to talk about next. All right, so where do we even begin? Well, your very first step is picking the right satellite. The best way to think about these is that they're basically just repeaters, but in the sky. And just like tools in a toolbox, they're all a bit different. For your first time out, you're going to want to pick the simplest, most reliable tool you can find. Now, as you start digging into this, you're going to see the name OSCAR pop up all over the place. What is that? It's just an acronym. It stands for Orbiting Satellite Carrying Amateur Radio. Think of it as the official nickname given by the ham community. So whenever you see a satellite name like AO91 or SO50, yep, that's an OSCAR. That's one of our birds. Okay, this is important. You basically have two main types of voice satellites to choose from. On one hand, you've got what are called linear satellites. These are the more advanced ones. They can handle a bunch of conversations at the same time using modes like single sideband. But for your first contact, just forget about those for now. We're going to focus on the FM satellites. Why? Because they work on a single channel, exactly like your local repeater on the ground, which makes them super, super simple to use. So, to be crystal clear, your target, your first mission, should be what we call the easy sats. These are the FM satellites in low Earth orbit, or LEO. Think of them as the perfect training ground. This is where you're going to build your skills, get that first success under your belt, and build the confidence to try the more complicated stuff later on. Okay, satellite chosen. Now let's talk about building your ground station. And right away, let me just say, you do not need a room packed with gear and massive antennas on your roof. Nope. We're going to put together what the community lovingly calls a handshock. Basically, a completely portable station you can take anywhere, like a park or even just your own backyard. So what's at the heart of this station? Your radio. And here's the best part. All you really need to get started is a basic dual-band handheld radio, an HT, that covers both VHF and UHF. And I'm willing to bet that if you're a licensed ham watching this, you probably already have one of these sitting on your desk. All right, now listen up, because this is probably the single most important piece of gear. That little rubber ducky antenna that came with your radio, for this, it's pretty much useless. It just won't cut it. Satellite signals are incredibly weak, and you absolutely need a directional antenna, like a handheld Yagi. This thing acts like a lens, focusing all of your radio's power towards the satellite, and, just as importantly, helping you hear its faint signal coming back. And there you have it. That's the whole setup in action. You've got your operator, the handheld radio, and that Yagi antenna. That's pretty much the whole shebang. Now, the only other piece of gear I'd highly, highly recommend is a headset or a speaker mic. Trust me on this one, it'll stop your radio speaker from feeding back into the microphone while you're trying to talk and listen at the same time. It's a common headache you can easily avoid. Okay, our gear is sorted. Now for the mission planning. And this part is absolutely crucial. You can't just wander outside, turn on your radio, and hope a satellite happens to be overhead. These things are moving targets, remember. A successful contact is all about good preparation and perfect timing. And the mission plan really just boils down to 4 simple steps. First, you've got to predict a pass. Figure out when the satellite is actually going to be overhead. Second, you need to find the right frequencies. Third, you'll program those into your radio. And fourth, you have to account for a little quirk of physics known as the Doppler shift. Don't worry, we'll get to that. So, how do you predict a pass? Easy. You're going to use a website like amsat.org or even just a simple app on your phone. These tools do all the work for you, showing you exactly when a satellite will pop up over the horizon and when it'll disappear. Now, here's a pro tip for your first few tries. Look for passes that get up to at least 30 degrees of elevation. The higher it is in the sky, the clearer the signal and the more time you'll have to make that contact. All right, let's tackle that Doppler shift I mentioned. It's really not as scary as it sounds. You know how an ambulance siren sounds higher pitched as it's coming towards you and lower as it drives away? It's the exact same principle. The satellite's frequency will seem to change as it flies over. So how do we deal with it? Simple. You just pre-program a few memory channels in your radio with slightly different frequencies. As the satellite approaches, you're on one channel. When it's overhead, maybe another. And as it flies away, you click to the next one. This makes managing the shift in real time an absolute breeze. Okay, the planning is done, your gear is ready, you've checked the clock, and the satellite is about to come over the horizon. This is it. This is the moment. So let's walk through the exact operating procedure to make your first successful QSO, your first contact. Now, before you even think about touching that transmit button, you need to burn this into your brain. This is the golden rule of satellite operating. If you cannot hear the satellite, you do not transmit. I'm going to say it again. Don't transmit if you can't hear the satellite first. Period. It's simple logic. If you can't hear it, it can't hear you. Transmitting blindly is just going to cause a mess and interfere with everybody else who can hear it. In fact, the community has a pretty great name for people who break this rule. They call them alligators. You know why? Because they're all mouth and no ears. It's a funny but memorable way to drive home the most important piece of satellite etiquette. So please, don't be an alligator. Be a good operator. Listen first. Okay, here's your final checklist for the actual pass. Step 1. As the pass starts, open your radio's squelch all the way. You want to hear the static, because the satellite signal might be too weak to break through a closed squelch. Step 2. Point your antenna where the tracking app says the satellite is. Step 3. Once you hear other people, that's your cue. Just throw out your call sign and your grid square. And finally, here's a little magic trick. As you're listening, slowly rotate your antenna like you're twisting a screwdriver. This changes the polarization and can make a fuzzy signal suddenly pop into crystal clarity. And just like that, contact. Congratulations! You just talked through a satellite. But seriously, this is just the beginning of the adventure. Now it's time to plug into the incredible worldwide community of people who actually design, build, and operate these things. Your very first stop, your new homepage, should be AMSAT. That's the Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation. Their website is an absolute treasure trove. I'm talking about the tracking tools we mentioned, the most up-to-date frequency lists for every satellite, amazing getting started guides, and forms full of smart, experienced operators who are always happy to help out a newcomer. It really is incredible when you stop and think about it. With a simple handheld radio and an antenna you might have even built yourself, you get to take part in a space program. The tech is totally accessible, the community couldn't be more welcoming, and the experience, well, it's something you will never forget. Your first contact is up there, right now just waiting for you. So the only real question left is, who are you going to talk to?